Association of ESA Professionals 250 million naira educational trust fundraising award and recognition ceremony with the theme Securing the Future of ESA Land Through Education was held on Saturday, the 24th of September 2022 at the Civic Center in Victoria Island, Lagos. The chairman of the occasion was Chief Dr. Lemon Ikbea, the Eldolu of Ewato Kingdom. The special guest of honor was Right Honorable Charles Osazua, OON. The guest speaker was Professor Mrs. Philomena Ejele, a lecturer from the University of Port Harcourt, while the chief host was Mr. Efe Aigbe, President, Association of ESA Professionals. The event was a hybrid one as it had in attendance illustrious sons and daughters of ESA land, both physically and virtually. An opening prayer done in ESA language by Prince Matthew Ahiamba. The welcome address was delivered by Mr. Efe Aigbe, President of Association of ESA Professionals, who welcomed everyone present and thanked the organizers of the event for the work done so far. He spoke about the idea behind the fundraising as well as the intervention projects carried out by the association so far.
This award and fundraising event is titled Securing the Future of ESA Land and Its People Through Education. It's a follow-up to the workshop we had last year with the theme Enhancing Secondary School Education in ESA Land Through Teaching Intervention. That particular workshop focused on the problem of secondary school education in ESA Land. The workshop and the research carried out by the association brought to the fore the lack of teachers in secondary schools, which has become a major challenge to deliver quality secondary education in ESA Land. From that particular research, most of the schools in ESA Land do not have teachers. And where they are available, there may just be one or two teachers, including the principal. Last year's workshop was meant to draw the attention of the major stakeholders, the government, parents, teachers, and students, and indeed community leaders to this major problem in the state in general and ESA Land in particular, with a view to finding a solution to it.
The guest speaker, Chief Lemon Ikbea, made it clear that the choice of the theme of the event, Securing the Future of ESA Land Through Education, was not an accident, as the importance of education cannot be overemphasized.
We are gathered today, as we know, because the association has deemed it fit to raise funds to support its education program for our people in ESA Land. In addition, I have it on good authority that some deserving ESA sons and daughters will be honored at today's event. As a past vice president of AEP, I know that these activities are in line with the tradition of our association. The theme of today's event titled Securing Future for our ESA Land and its people through education. And relevant in the unprecedented times that we live here in Nigeria today. The choice of this theme is not by accident, as the importance of education cannot be overemphasized.
The representative of the chairman, Barrister Matthew Egbadon, appealed passionately to guests to donate generously in order to salvage the educational system in ESA Land.
So I plead on his behalf that you support today's activities, as he has ably said then. Education is important. We cannot overemphasize that. And he made that point. Like Professor Derek Box said, former president of Harvard University, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And we know what that has led us to in Nigeria today, where people are committing suicide because they believe that that will give them automatic scholarship to heaven. It's as a result of ignorance. So we must salvage our own in ESA Land. The situation is very bad in ESA Land. I can say that authoritatively. So that is why what AEP is doing today is something that we should all support. And I implore all of us to support the effort. Thank you.
Barrister Emmanuel Ogbogbong, Chairman, Education Trust Fund, in his remarks, said the project is a collective effort of all ESSA professionals and gave details of what informed the fundraiser. He ended by thanking everyone who made the project possible.
The journey to anywhere you want to go to begins with a step, and that step we have chosen to take today. I want to thank every one of you for believing in us, for joining us to make this possible, so that Esan land can be better for all of us, so that we can be proud of where we come from, so that our friends, when we have things to do at home, will be happy to join us there, so that everyone going home will know he's going to meet people of like minds, educate the children, and have a better Esan land. That is our motto, and we beg you to support us. We plead with you to give generously, and above all, we thank you for finding time to be with us.
The Goodwill Message of Governor Godwin Obaseki was presented by his Special Advisor on Political Matters, Honorable Philomena Ihenyen. She also spoke about gender inclusivity, especially as it affects girl-child education. She urged all ESSA sons and daughters to be united and show interest in the affairs of ESSA land.
The fundraising, recognition, and award presentation is a step in the right direction towards retaining excellent performance amongst those in the education industry. The theme of this event, securing the future of Esan land and its people through education, is timely, as it is in concomitant with the state drive towards using education as the base upon which society development will emerge. Your contributions to education development in Edo State, no doubt, are good additions to the efforts of the government in the promotion of education in our dear state. The state government under my administration, in line with global declaration, acknowledges the fact that education is a needed tool to promoting the transformation and development of individuals and societies. It is in light of this that my administration deems it necessary to implement education reforms in line with the mega agenda of the state. Our focus, particularly on basic education, has generated attention from all over the country and even beyond.
This was followed by a short musical presentation in ESSA language with some masquerade performances. The keynote lecture was delivered by Professor Mrs. Philomena Ejele of the Department of Linguistics and Communication Studies, Faculty of Humanities, University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Her lecture involved a brief historical and demographic overview of ESSA people of Edo State before delving into the main subject, education of ESSA people.
So this forms the background of what we are looking at, education. Now, of course, we know that education has always been there. It's a process, it's worldwide, it's as old as man himself, and every society has its own method of educating its people to suit its personal and societal needs. Okay? We find that education, let me put it this way, education is an induction or an initiation into society to prepare a child or a young adult for adult life. Education can be through the process of teaching, training, and learning. So it's the sum total of these processes by which the child or the young adult develops the discipline, the attitudes, and other forms of behavior that are positive values to the society in which he lives.
Writes Honorable Charles Ezobua, OON, commended the association's president and congratulated the awardees as well as the organizers of the fundraising ceremony. He urged the special guest to donate generously to the cause.
And I want to start first by commending our president, Mr. Efe Akigbe, for resuscitating our effort to focus on education and recognition of those who have excelled. The challenges are more because, as we heard from different speakers, the government is not able to meet its own mandate or obligation to the people. But the future, our youth, is the only future we have. So, Mr. President, I thank you again for reviving this initiative. And I would like to appeal to everybody here to please support the association. We have been prudent managers of resources. I thank you for coming, but for those who have left, I hope we have their detail so we can follow up with them. Thank you very much.
The fundraising proper, which followed next, was supervised by Barrister Matthew Egbadon. He started with the donation of the chairman, and other donations followed.
I want to thank AEP for what you are doing. I'm part and parcel of this association. That you've decided to honor me today, you are honoring the entire Okpere family, and we are grateful for that. I want to thank you for your contributions. And I tell you, we still have a lot to do. I don't know how many of you have traveled to Esan land in the last 6 months or 7 months or 8 months. Maybe you are afraid, but don't be afraid because I go home almost every week.
Education is something that is very, very important. And it's something that everybody should try to support when you have the means to do it. And I also want to put on record that we should not leave the funding of schools to government alone. I think that is why the Association of Esan Professionals has come on board. This is a very, very noble work you're doing, and I pray that God will support, and people who have it too will support.
The chairman and CEO BISCON Communications, Prince Dr. B.C. Olatilo, congratulated the organizers of the fundraising ceremony, made his donation, and promised to cover and broadcast the event on BISCON TV at no cost. The high point of the event was the award and recognition ceremony. The citations of the award recipients were read before they were decorated in what is known in Esa tradition as Ibulu and Izapa. The closing remark was given by Barrister Matthew Egbadon, while the vote of thanks was said by Mr. Sullivan Akala, Vice President of the Association of Esa People. The event was brought to an end with a closing prayer by Air Vice Marshal Anthony Okbere. From BISCON Communications, it's congratulations to the Association of ESA Professionals on the successful hosting of its Education Trust fundraising and award recognition ceremony.